Welcome to the Know Yourself channel, where making astrology known and understandable is the number one priority. I'm the Scottish astrologer, and in this video I explain which zodiac sign governs which body part and more. Okay, starting with the top and starting point of the body, and the first sign and starting point of the zodiac, Aries, governs the head. And Aryan people's heads tend to be the most prominent part of their bodies, and or they get issues involving their head, such as headaches, ringing in the ears, just problems involving their head in general. And these people tend to, in general, as long as the rest of their natal charts allow it, in general, Aryan people have a talent involving their head, like having high IQs or something along those lines. Now moving on, Taurus governs the neck, and Taurian people's necks tend to be the most prominent part of their bodies, and or, okay, so either could be both or just one or the other, and or they get issues involving their necks, such as sore throats, problems with their lymphatic nodes, etc. And these people tend to, in general, again, as long as the rest of their natal charts allow it, they tend to have some sort of talent, shall we say, involving the neck area, neck throat area, such as a good singing voice or a good voice in general, or something along those lines involving that area of the body. Now moving on, Gemini governs the arms and hands. Now some people claim that Gemini controls the lungs also, but that is not true, I promise that. Cancer actually governs the lungs, as well as the breast, okay, and chest, all in the same area. But we will get to that next. So, Gemini governs the arms and hands, and Gemini people's hands and arms tend to be the most prominent part of their body, and or they get issues involving their arms and hands. These people also tend to have a talent here, such as being good with their hands, etc. You know, something involving that. Building things, making things, just something involving being good with your hands. You can use your imagination on that one. Now moving on, Cancer governs the breast, chest, lungs. And Cancerian people's chest, etc. tend to be the most prominent part of their body, and or they have issues in this area of the body like breathing problems, etc. Or they could have a talent involving this area, such as good lungs, for holding their breath for a long time underwater, or something along those lines. Now I think you are starting to get the point and can now work out for yourselves the talents, prominence, and or issues involving the certain signs and body parts that I will go through. So moving on, Leo governs the heart, Virgo governs the stomach, etc. Libra governs the kidneys. Scorpio governs the reproductive organs and anus. And now I need to answer a question I keep getting asked by people, which is how can I tell by looking at a man's natal chart if he has a if he is well endowed, shall we say, right? And now Scorpio men, okay, will either be prominent in this area, but they could have an issue also with their reproductive organ, such as being below the average size, or it doesn't function properly like it should, shall we say. But there is an actual proper method, okay, to know by looking at a man's natal chart if he has a larger than average, okay, member, shall we say. And this involves the planet Mars, which is the ruler of Scorpio and Aries. But before I do reveal to you how to tell if a man has a large member, shall we say, okay, there is nothing wrong with the average size. It's the average size for a reason, because it does the job, okay? Love is love at the end of the day. And I hope people don't start asking people for birth details before going on a date with them or anything like that, because that's not my aim at all. Okay, so what you look for on a natal chart, first of all, is where Mars is located. Now if Mars is in the sign of Aries or Scorpio, or conjunct the ascendant, then the penis will be above the average size, okay? And if Mars is also being conjunct or aspected by Jupiter and or Venus, positively aspected, trine or sextile, by Jupiter or Venus and or Venus, this will increase the size and talent, shall we say, even further, especially if Jupiter and or Venus are well placed. And now I can prove my point by showing you the natal charts of two of the top adult film stars out there who you can actually find their natal charts. First of all, here is the chart of, what's his name, Rocco Siffredi, the Italian stallion as he's known. And as you can see, he has Mars in Aries conjunct Jupiter, and Mars is also being sextile aspected by Venus. And moving on, if we now look at the chart of Ron Jeremy, another top adult film star, you will notice once again Mars is located in Aries. This time it is in a conjunction with Venus rather than Jupiter. And you will notice, although not being aspected by Jupiter, Jupiter is very close to Mars in the heavens at that time. So here is the proof what I'm saying is correct concerning how to tell if a man has a larger than average member, shall we say, okay? So I shouldn't need to get asked this question anymore. I've cleared it up, and if I do, I can just point them towards this video and be done with it. You'll be surprised how many people ask this question. It's, you know, loves love people, but I'll answer it for basically scientific reasons, just to prove that astrology does indeed affect the body, because most people say, oh, I believe astrology affects the personality but not the body, okay? But it's everything. It builds the whole archetype of man, you know, everything about us, not just our body, our spirit, souls, everything comes from the heavens, the planets, astrologically, you know, that's true. I'm trying to make that point as much as possible, and this is a good way to prove that point. If you just take what I'm saying, you can prove it for yourself. Anyone seeing this with this configuration and the effects of what I'm saying on themselves, they'll know it's true, or with their partners, or etc. So there we go, that's how you know. Okay, moving on. Sagittarius governs the hips and thighs, Capricorn governs the knees and bones, Aquarius governs the calves, and Pisces governs the feet. Now, this knowledge is of the most importance for medical astrology, etc. And it is knowledge I believe everyone should be aware of in general, okay? Okay guys, that's all for this video. A big thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell at the right hand side of the subscribe button, and please tell a friend about the Scottish Astrologers Know Yourself channel. Until next time, take care.